Yo guys, so I'm back with another video, and today I have something slightly different. So Nationals is coming up, or Nats for short, and I've never been to one before, and I thought, you know what, I'll try. I got an invite. I've not got an invite, but I've got an invite with a few friends to go and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to do that. But the biggest thing in my mind is, what am I going to play at an event like that? I've got Ryziel, I've got Fiendsmith, I've got Odeon, and I've been looking at my options, and I'm just not sure on what to play. And as you saw in my last video where I was at MCM Comic Con, I was able to pick up 3 copies of Dominus Impulse. Now that does open up a few more options, like I have Mermail, I think, I can't play Exodia, but Exodia is still another rogue option. But another deck caught my attention, which I've had for the longest time ever, just fully built and never did anything with. And that was Fire King. I've had this constructed deck for ages now. I haven't played it at all. I know Dinkaboo did really well with this deck, and people at my locals have been winning regionals with this deck, and I thought, I thought I'd give it a try at least. I've had all the cards. I'm pretty comfortable with the deck. I played it a lot casually when it first came out. I messed around with it when the Snake Eye stuff came out, and to put that to the test, I went into Nexus, which I'm still quite new to. I usually use Duelbook a lot for a video like this, and yeah, so I went into Ranked, and now I have achieved Grandmaster and top 100 at 62 with a ratio of 47 wins and 17 losses, just playing basically pure Fire King with the impulses. And yeah, I think the deck's really, really tight. I did want to go over some of my replays and stuff like that, and then show a deck profile of what I'm running and maybe some changes. And we're going to take this to locals. I have one more locals coming up, which is on the Thursday, and then after that I have Nats, which, I mean, I might play in some side events, but we'll just see. I plan to record the whole experience as well. But yeah, I thought we'd just get into some replays and just talk a bit about the game against, God forbid, Tempire. And we're going first into what looks really good. We've got Impulse and Imperm for the Chundra and Kaiman, which is really good, and they don't seem to have anything else besides that. Well, they've got Droplet, I guess, to try and dodge, like, nothing's really good, really. It depends on what they top deck. DD Crow, that's quite irritating, but we're able to Impulse that, yes. Chundra, yes. Imperm, set 2 pass. Here we try and blow up the board, but then we see them set Prologue of Destruction of Swordsman. It's this stuff, which I just have no clue how to play or play against, whatever. This stuff seems really cool, though. I really like the Tekken Tempo, especially with it. I don't know how I feel about going into Trap Tricks for it, though. It seems a bit long. For some reason, they decided DD Crow the Volcanics, which is whatever. They go Battle Phase. Our turn. And we've still just got absolutely everything. They set Drew Makama Cannon, but we're able to get Kieran. We summon something, destroy the back row, yep. And yeah, a big consideration of when I was building this deck was how many Charmies I wanted to play, especially for Nationals. And in this variant, as you can see, I'm playing the 6 of them, I guess, the 2 good ones. And we're against Goblin Biker, which I don't know how well, doesn't seem to play too well into it, especially not both of them, obviously. And especially with the nib that we've drawn. But they seem to just let us keep going. I think after this they surrender just because. But they just seem to be fully going. And I don't really know what Goblin Biker ends on. As long as the card, neither player can activate effects by discard. Whatever that is, don't care what that is right now. Because we see some crazy stuff come out. We see Virtual World. I just hit the nib here because I'm seeing too much stuff I don't like. And our hand is just full combo. This Ghost Ogre is going to do absolutely nothing. So, pretty big nib token, but nothing Kieran can't pop. Our hands are pretty meh. I took out the nib. The nib's really weird. I wasn't really sold on it, especially if I'm going to be seeing a lot of, like, Mitsurugi or Ryziel or stuff like that. That's why I think this deck's really good in this type of format, especially with the side deck it can play. The hand we've got here is just insane. I will admit, in a few of these replays, I do miss the triggers. It is, like, my first time trying to play this deck properly now. But as you can see, we've got enough to kill him, so yeah. So in this game here against, Centurion, which I think is quite an interesting matchup. This is way too fast. I never understand what Centurion's doing. It's one of those decks I can never really keep up with. But the board we make here, I feel, is pretty good. We've got Ponix in hand, we've got Impulse. We wasn't able to establish Field Spell and that, and I just instantly bite with the negate. They've drawn 3 emblems of Loaf, which is crazy. And I mean, I feel like this is technically the right call because obviously I won, but I still don't really know what the deck does. But another emblem of Oath sets that guy. This board I feel really good about, and like big long chain here. But we're able to get a Sanctuary. Sanctuary gets us Island. And like the fact we can just clear their entire board here feels so good. And they're on top deck. We get Ponix back, and we also got Negate. So yeah, super interesting one. As you can see, they've drawn double strike, and we've drawn triple extra with Impulse and Ash. So they're not playing the game, and neither are we. So we hit him with all our interruptions. Impulse is such a good card right now. I absolutely love it. Imperm, great. Banish 6. I think we end up using all 3 extra this game. Summons the Primera. We Ash that. It's probably not right just to keep hitting with all this interruption, but like with the hand, I feel like we can. We Impulse the whatever this guy is. Gargoyle. Battle Phase, we just keep smacking him with that. We do another extra. Banish 6. There's like nothing left in the extra deck now. Just keep hitting him with it. Also, the Garunix is good, because when he strikes our dude, we can actually summon him back out, but he can also strike it again if he wants to. So, yep, there's another strike. He tries to Magnum effect, Imperm. Then he goes for the Libellion, tries to get the effect, we Imperm. Battle Phase, we take the 2/5. Still not going to do it. Final Extrav. Banish last 3 cards. Draw the Island, which is just going to do it. We can add Ponix, then, yeah, add Skyburn, pop both of them, and then we just have everything's live again. And, yeah, insane top deck. Insane top deck. And people forget that Island doesn't need to destroy a fire monster. It can destroy any monster. This is the deck I'm currently playing now. I mean, this is the most refined list I have so far that I am definitely planning to take towards Nats. The extracts, I think I'm going to slightly change. I might just go to 1 Sunlight Wolf, maybe for a 3rd Heater, just because the Heater feels so much more important than Sunlight Wolf right now, and like, I like Sunlight Wolf, it just doesn't come up as much as Heater does, especially against the Ryziel matchups, where sometimes it can be really difficult to get through the Ryziel board. Being able to steal one of their names is really good. Side deck, I'm still just completely off about. The 3 Lancia and 3 Fugalos feels good. The 1 of Dusters, I might change out for a Lightning Storm. The weirdest thing about this deck, which I was talking to my friend about, was the 2 Thrust in the side and the 1 in main. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's felt okay. This originally was 1-for-1, but I just hate that card for this deck. Just there's nothing good here I want to send, and I don't have to send like a hand trap. Like if I want a fire monster, I'd rather like normal summon a Droll and then make an Almirage or something. But the Sanctum, Different Dimension Ground, and the 2 of Dimension Barrier and Strike feel good. I don't know how I feel about the double strike though. I really like it. That's the problem. I really like the card, and like I could see myself playing it at 1 and maybe Lightning Storm instead. But this is where I think most work needs to be in the side deck. But main deck feels great. Mostly a playset of the big guys, well except Garunix. This Garunix anyway. Old one, the 3 of 1, 1, 3, and yeah, that's just how I feel. I really like this deck, to be fair. And while I'm making this video, I'll go through some lines and some interesting like tech things that I've learned a lot about playing this deck that a lot of people just don't seem to realize at all. And what makes this deck so good, especially in just to like modern meta sometimes, is just the way how sticky and floaty the monsters can be, and how like low to the board the combo and end board is. A lot like something like Ryziel, but maybe not as powerful, but more combo and control. So for the first combo, the most obvious combo of them all is Ponix, of course. Just a 1-card starter by itself to get everything that we need. So, you know, in order to do it, we must normal summon it, activate its effect. Like, this line definitely, I feel like, plays a lot into Droll. Just because once we have this, Island's practically dead. But we can activate this to grab Islands. Then if our opponent hasn't Drolled us here, we can activate Island, then use its effect popping Ponix to add a copy of Garunix from our deck to our hand. Now, since a fire was destroyed, we can summon Garunix. Now, Garunix effect on summon can actually destroy from deck, so it cannot be ashed or whatever. There's been a few times where I'm like destroying from deck, and they're like, why ash no work? Why ash no work? Destroy from deck. I know, silly, right? And there are 2 different ways we can do this. We can either destroy Volcanics, or we can destroy Barong. They basically end up doing the same thing, but since we're playing Barong, what we could do is hypothetically activate the effect Destroy Barong. Now what we do here is we just pass and like plus any sort of other bits we have, maybe set a few cards or whatever, but the idea of this is, so during our opponent's turn standby phase, mandatory effect to add, here we can add a copy of Kieran, because since this was technically destroyed, and then Ponix returns back to our hand because it was also destroyed. So now what we have during our opponent's turn is a Kieran and also Ponix, which means like when we see the board's getting a bit too sticky, we can summon the Kieran, popping the Ponix to then overlay for the big nuke. And like, that's really good, don't get me wrong. This was like the old line people were doing before Volcanics came out, and like, I like Barong, I really do, but like, there are some cases where I just wish I wasn't playing him, but yeah, that's the line you can do with Barong. But say hypothetically we're in a situation where we've activated this effect, we've just destroyed Ponix, we can summon it to destroy from deck, we can actually destroy Volcanics instead. Volcanics also has the effect to, when it's destroyed, to summon the OG Garunix. Why I feel this is slightly better is because we have old school Garunix in rotation. Not only because he's also a rank 8 to make him with, but say if our opponent, for whatever reason, wants to destroy our board or like tries to pop island, we can just protect with this, and during the standby phase, if this card was destroyed by a card effect, it gets to summon and blow up the board, or one effect. Or if it's destroyed by battle, because it's got 17,000 defense, 17k attack, 17k defense. If it's destroyed, we can summon basically any Fire King from our deck, being whoever we feel was best at the time. The next line I want to talk about is with Volcanics. Volcanics is a really just good card in general, and I'm just so glad this card exists. It's also the second normal summon of the deck, so when you normal summon it, you have to destroy a fire, so it's technically a 1.5 card combo. So for instance, we can destroy Ash or just any, we usually have a fire in our hand, so yeah. We'll destroy Ash, and we're allowed to basically add basically any Fire King. And if we're feeling good, and like we know our opponent's not on draw, which is very rare, we could add Ponix, and since a fire's been destroyed, we could summon Ponix and do the Ponix line of adding Sanctuary, which then goes to Island, which then also just goes to everything again. But since we also destroyed a fire, we could go directly to Garunix, and we could summon Garunix and activate effect to destroy, and there we could destroy another copy of this, or we can destroy it on the field to then summon Garunix. This line's slightly better, especially if you're drolled. If you're drolled upon resolution of adding Garunix, this is still just kind of the same thing. And I mean, without the Sanctuary and Field spell, it's not the best, but usually you have it 9 out of the 10 times. But that's the best way to play around droll. The ultimate way around droll I've come to find is with Sanctuary, because like, the biggest search you are doing in the deck is not only Ponix, but is also Island. In my opinion, I value Island search over Ponix any day of the week. So say we have Sanctuary plus a random fire monster. It doesn't even have to technically be a fire monster. But we fire off the Sanctuary and we'll place the Island face up. Here we can activate Island, popping our fire or whatever. If it's not a fire, then we could go for Ponix, but like it's still just a pretty rough hand in that situation. It all depends on what's your hand. Usually you are going to have a fire. It's always worth destroying your Ash, especially if you're going to be able to resolve your Garunix. So therefore we can add Garunix then. Say they draw us here. Okay, cool. Summon this effect. Pop. And then we can bring out Garunix. And once again, we've played around draw and we've ended up with the same board. The last line I'll talk about, and the most interesting one, which I like, is the one that you can do if you have a Vasa in your hand, plus some sort of Sanctuary line. For instance, we'll just do Ponix again. So we'll Ponix will place us the Sanctuary, if I can find it. It's still in the deck. We'll activate the Sanctuary, place the Fire King Island, then we'll activate the effect, popping this to add a copy of Garunix. Since the fire was destroyed, we can summon Garunix and activate the effect to destroy from deck. Here we won't bother actually going for any sort of rank 8 plays on our opponent's turn. What we can do is destroy the Kieran. Once Kieran is destroyed, it can summon a Fire King from our graveyard or hand, non-target pop. So for instance, we can summon the Avatar, and here we've got Negate live now. So say like our opponent activates effects, we can negate with Garunix then. If we have some sort of other interruption, whether we have a Skyburn set or a Circle set, we can pop our own Avatar to summon back, for instance, let's just say like a Ponix, then resolve the effect, and then get Garunix, which can then summon destroying another card to then get another level. So the last thing for the deck, I think we'll just do a few test hands. Just see how the deck goes. I think the biggest thing this deck can struggle with is consistency sometimes. So say we're going first and our opening hand is Droll, Kieran, Avatar, and Garunix. Now, as you can see, we haven't seemed to open into the Ponix lines to get into Island, but we can still obviously set up the Avatar because we've opened Avatar, and we also have Garunix in hand. So, like, the best way, for instance, to play around something like this would be to go to the main phase, activate the Kieran, popping the Kieran. So we'll pop the Kieran, summon this. And we can activate Kieran Chain 1 because it was destroyed by a card effect. Chaining Garunix because a fire was also destroyed to summon. And since this was destroyed, we can actually summon a Fire King and non-target pop a card. So we've summoned the Avatar, we've got Kieran, and we've also got Garunix, so we can do Garunix effect to, like, destroy from deck. Here, I mean, I guess the best destruction you could possibly do would either be Ponix or Barong, for instance, just so we can get it back in rotation. So I guess, like, to avoid Ash, you would destroy Ponix here. And then during our opponent's turn, we have Ponix return. We have Droll as well for them. And we also have a negate, because we could negate with Avatar, destroying... we'll destroy the Garunix here. So we negate the activation. Then Ponix triggers to summon because a fire was also destroyed. This summons and could add us a copy of either... I think Sanctuary's good here because, I mean, they're not really going to Droll. They're only going to Ash that. So we could add Sanctuary. And then from here out, we don't really have any much interruption besides the Droll that we've obviously activated. But, like, this board's super sticky because we've got a live Kieran that has been activated. We've got a Vata which has to use its graveyard effect. And we've also got a live Garunix engraved. For the second test hand, we'll do Volcanix, Kieran, Ponix, Garunix, and Ash Blossom. So this hand's also just really good as well. There's a lot we can do here. I mean, I still haven't come to terms with what normal summon I value more. I think I value the Volcanix normal summon just a bit more than the Ponix because, like, I guess if this is destroyed, this gets to summon, but, like, because this can sort of be a brick if you're not summoning it, but the fact that this can be summoned off destruction I think is really good. So I guess with this hand, we'll normal summon the Volcanix and activate the effect. This is good because we've already drawn the Garunix and the Kieran. So I guess here we could theoretically activate the effect destroying the Kieran in hand to add a copy of Avatar. Then what we could do here is do Kieran chain 1 and we could chain the Ponix to get the Sanctuary. So we'll summon this and then we'll summon the Avatar off the Kieran. And then new chain we have the Ponix effect to add. This is where we fall into Droll a tiny bit here. Get Drolled here, we're still activating this to place Island face up just so we have it for next turn, and we also have the rank 8 because we will be able to make a rank 8 with this board. So, like, if we got Drolled here and we couldn't use Island to pop anything, during our opponent's turn we've got an Ash and we've also got a Vata popping Volcanix, which will then summon Garunix, which will summon the old Garunix plus the new Garunix because a fire has been destroyed, and then we have rank 8 access again, and we also have the effect of Garunix. So say if we're going second, we'll draw Droll, which is really good, Ponix, Thrust, Imperm, and Sanctuary. I swear I'm not making these hands up. So say if, I don't know, we're going second, the Imperm's obviously going off, and possibly the Droll. We'll just take those out of our hand for now. The draw for turn would be the Volcanix. As I said, it's very debatable on what you want to do here. Since I don't want to die to Droll straight away, since we've drawn Sanctuary, we can activate Sanctuary and go directly into Islands. This play is, not only does it play around Droll, you have to be careful because it does play into, like, the biggest weakness of popping the island now. But here, I guess you would... It's quite hard, actually. I think I'll normal summon the Volcanix and activate the effect. And say if that gets stopped with, like, an Imperm or Ash or something like that, we could just Island pop it for a copy of Garunix. And then we could do Garunix effect to summon. Then we'll use Garunix effect. I think the best call is to pop a Kieran. We did also forget we're supposed to summon an Volcanix as well, actually. I guess we'll just do that now. It's in defense, so, like, as much value as it gives us, but it's very important. I need to keep remembering that. It's a lot harder to play this deck in physical than it is online on Nexus, but Yeah, so we should theoretically have already had this. Kieran will then summon and pop a card. So we'll do Kieran effect, chaining Ponix, because a fire's been destroyed. We'll summon Ponix, and then Kieran will summon Olcanix, and we'll just pop one of their cards. And from here, we can use Ponix to grab the best OTK card, Circle of the Fire Kings. So right now, we're in a position where, like, we haven't got too much on board, but we can make, on our turn, we can actually go into the ranking and blow everything up. So even though that destroys our own cards, that still sets us up for a lot of good play. So we'll go to the battle phase, attack for 3,000. We could activate Circle of the Fire Kings, targeting Garunix and targeting the Kieran. Just summon back the Kieran, popping the Garunix, the XYZ Garunix. Then Garunix effect, summon these two back for game. And we also had Thrust in our hand. I don't know if that's exactly game, but it's enough damage to do what needs to be done anyway. And yeah, that's all I have for today's video. I really want to make some more updates. I think I'm going to talk a lot more about this deck once I go to locals and just figure and play against a lot. I did some testing today against Mitsurugi Raizio, which I felt really confident about. Like, that deck when it comes to destroying all our cards, yeah, sure, whatever. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this deck. I mean, I still got a lot more to learn with a deck like this. I mean, it's all my playstyle of control plus like wide and low boards, which I really do enjoy. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one.